artificial intelligence, umaasa lang po kami sa DICT, sa tulong ng DICT at saka NBI para doon sa matrace po natin. Sapagkat talaga pong ang modern threat natin po, especially nito nakarang election, yung foreign intervention eh. Yan po yung aming iniwa. Ang maganda po sa mga machines natin, stand-alone siya. Hindi po siya connected to anything. So stand-alone siya, lalagyan lang siya ng connectivity kapag magta-transmit na siya ng results. Pero for the entire whole day, mula umaga hanggang sa matapos sa election, wala po siyang connection. And therefore, yung hacking issue, wala po kami masyadong fear. Bago po mag-transmit ng results, makakapag-print na siya ng results, makikita, mapapaskill na sa labas. So yung posibilidad na ito ay itamper, hindi rin po ganun kataas kasi nakita na po ng lahat, na picture na, napaskill na sa presinto bago pa i-transmit ang results.
Ang isa pa napuna ko sa budget, Madam Chair, ang laki na pondo nilaan para sa NCR. Hindi ko alam kung may nagtanong na nito. Pero siyempre, bilang galing ako sa Region 3 po, medyo naiinggit ako. Hindi ho ba? Ano ho ba yung minimum service standards ninyo na naging batayan para paglaanan ng napakalaking pondo po yung NCR compared to other regions po?
Yes po. Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair. Yung po talagang voters, list of voters, yung number of voters, at saka po, ang COMELEC is still until today highly centralized, Madam Chair. So, yung pong pagiging highly centralized simply because, for example po, yung COA does not allow off-site auditing. Kinakailangan dito lahat po sa Maynila. Lahat po kinakailangan dito isasubmit po sa amin, even including the processing of documents for purposes of appointments, promotion, personnel movements. Talaga pong centralized liquidation po, centralized pa rin. Kaya po malaki yung sa NCR. Yung po sa NCR naman kasama yung main office. Ang pinakamalaki pong voting population talaga natin po, Madam Chair, ay nasa sa NCR po.
Ang mahalaga, Madam Chair, hindi naman po kayo nagkukulang sa ibang mga regions. Tama po ba?
Ay, wag po kayo mag-alala, Madam Chair. Yung pong Region 3, properly taken care of po. In fact, ang nag-register ng #1 performance po noong nakaraan ay ang Region 3. Pinakamaagang mag-submit, pinakamaagang nag-file ng nakapagpasweldo sa lahat ng mga teacher, 100% po kaagad. Pati po yung mga lahat ng submissions, pinakamaayos po ang Region 3.
Last question po. Nakikita ko po itong disparity between yung proposal ninyo na 18 billion at saka yung NEP na 11.8 billion. Binanggit nyo, sinagip yung dalawang programa ninyo na tingin nyo napakahalaga. Medyo na iwan yung capital tsaka yung IT, sinabi ninyo, at ilang bagay pa. Kung maghahanap po kayo ng middle ground at nakikiusap po kayo sa Committee on Appropriations between 11 billion and 11.8 billion, okay? Ano ho yung sweet spot na matatawag ninyo sa gitna ng dalawang yon?
Your Honor, Madam Chair, dahil may election time padating, siguro po, willing na kami mag-sacrifice ng lahat. Wag lang po ma-compromise yung barangay and SK elections natin. Napaka-importante po, maaaring barangay and SK lang siya. Hindi po namin inaasahan naman sa pagpa-planning namin na marireset ang barangay and SK. At dahil po marireset siya, kita niyo po yung budget namin does not include the budget for BSKE. So we cannot compromise a democratic exercise. So okay na po yung iba. Total naman po 2028 pa in preparation po yan, advanced planning at preparation, but not the election. We cannot afford anymore a resetting of the BSKE. And therefore, we will be willing and very much ready to conduct the election by 2026 of the BSKE. Sans, yun nga lang po, limitation of the budget. At sana po kung may maibabalik plan sa amin o mailalagay, kahit lang po yung budget na pandagdag sa BSKE.
Magkano po yun?
Yung pong katulad ng binanggit ko kanina, kasi po may continuing appropriation tayo ng mga 10 billion doon sa dapat gagastusin namin sa barangay and SK. Ngayon po kung magkakaroon po tayo ng additional 4 million na botante, dahil nagkaroon po tayo ng 2.8 na dagdag noong August 1 to 10, plus 1.2 up to July ng next year, kailangan po namin kung walang dagdag na allowances ang teachers, 6 billion. Kung madadagdagan po ng allowances ang teachers, plus yung kanilang support staff na taga-takbo, taga-ayos ng pila ng mga tao, inuutusan nila sa bawat presinto will be needing at least additional 9 billion pesos.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair.
Maraming salamat po, Your Honors, Madam Chair.
Thank you. May I call on Representative Bambi Imano? May I call on Representative Janet Garin? May I call on Representative Alfred Garbin Jr.?
Thank you, Madam Chair, Chairman Garcia, at sa pamilya ng Commission on Election, magandang hapon po. A while ago, my name was, consistently alluded to. Para akong exhibit kanina eh. But thank you because that doctrine, and I maintain, Chairman Garcia, that doctrine is very good. Only that the Supreme Court declared it as pro hac vici, meaning para sa akin lang pala yun. But Chairman Garcia, in fulfilling your mandate to, administer and enforce all laws and regulations pertaining to elections, and in doing so, the paramount consideration in an election is always ascertaining the will of the people. Tama po ba?
Value of 7.7 billion. Balance of account.
Tama po kayo, Madam Chair, Your Honor.
And in ascertaining the will of the people, it is but proper also to implement the real intent of election laws. Am I
That is
correct?
right, Madam Chair.
And di na sana po ako magtatanong kaso kanina talagang palaging na-mention yung pangalan ko, and so it is but proper for me to elicit some of the question which really highlights the doctrine that was set by the Supreme Court in accordance with what the Commission on Election and Bank decided pertaining to that case, my particular case, Mr. Chair. Kasi po, yung aking inilaban na kung saan ang Commission and Bank was unanimous in deciding the same, pati yung Korte Suprema, unanimous din ho eh. Nung nagdesisyon sila to upheld the second placer rule, and pati nga ho yung Commission on Audit also ruled in a unanimous decision to, issue a notice of disallowance to the two respondents who committed an omnibus, the violation of the omnibus election law on illegal disbursement during election campaign. Now, Mr. Chair, how does the COMELEC reconcile its constitutional mandate with the Supreme Court's flip-flopping doctrines on the second placer rule? Kasi if I understand, Mr. Chair, hindi pa ho final, meron ho kayong pending motion for reconsideration in order to stand by that good doctrine of a second placer rule in applying it in some cases.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair, Your Honors. Ang mahirap po, kahit sa practitioner, mahirap po na walang distinction ang cancellation of candidacy at saka disqualification. And for number two, mahirap din pong paupuin. Personal na lang po ito. Kasi may decision ng Supreme Court, we have to respect the SC decision until the same is reversed and modified by the Supreme Court. Kaya lang po napakahirap din po na pauupuin mo, halimbawa, yung hindi naman tumakbo doon sa pwesto. But at the same time, you have to understand kung ang isang kandidato ay nag-commit ng mali prior to the conduct of the election, then why should we punish the electorate? So sa bandang huli, tama po kayo, the electorate's mandate should always and must be affirmed. The second placer rule is actually an affirmation of that mandate of the electorate. Why will you allow somebody who did not run for that particular position and whose case was present prior to the election to be the one to sit after the election when there is the second placer who really won without the first placer and who ran for that particular office. So yun po, and that's the reason why hanggang ngayon, kaya po kami nag-file ng ating manifestation reconsideration upang kahit paano baka po maklarify lang yun. Because completely po, gulat kami to sa abandonment ng halos-hos doctrine kung bakit bigla pong na-abandon at wala na po tayo ngayon second placer rule. Sana po maunawaan ng lahat, wala na pong second placer rule ngayon. So kahit anong nature ng kasong na-i-file, pag nag-desisyon ng COMELEC, especially after the election, ang pauupuin po namin, succession. Ang ibig sabihin po nun, Madam Chair, Your Honors, mauobliga ang COMELEC na dapat desisyon na namin ang lahat ng kaso before the election, which is too impossible. So sobrang dami po na nagpapile, 44,000 ang candidates sa buong Pilipinas. And therefore, yung pong pag-resolve ng kaso, kaagad, mukhang ganun po kahirap. Kita niyo po, 13,000 yung niresolve namin na cases. So dito po, base sa doktrina na to, dapat i-resolve ng COMELEC prior to the election.
Thank you, Madam Chair. But the law which still in effect and unchanged, which is Section 6 of RA 6646, states that a candidate who has been disqualified by a final judgment shall not be voted upon, or his vote shall not be counted. The law does not distinguish, then why should we? I mean, you can answer that, Chair, but I think this question should be properly answered by the Supreme Court. Why they always, distinguish where the law does not distinguish. But you may answer, Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat po, Madam Chair. Yung po ang dahilan kung bakit may mga pending cases kami na ripe na for decision, hindi po namin mailabas, Madam Chair. Ang reason is because disqualification cases siya. Sino ang pauupuin? Eh, ganun naka-motion for reconsideration. Pag po naglabas kami na pinaupo namin ang second place, isasite po kami in contempt ng Supreme Court. It may not be the same case as is presently pending before the Supreme Court, but the issue is practically the same. Sino ang pinapaupo? Yun po yung aking pinapaliwanag kanina. Sino ang pinapaupo sa ganitong klaseng kaso? Ang second placer ba o ang first placer? Sabi na ang second placer ba o succession? Sabi ng Supreme Court, hindi. Succession na. So, ang tanong po namin, yung succession, possible po siya sa local. Paano po, at hindi po naipaliwanag sa decision, and I'm hoping that we will not be cited in contempt by the Supreme Court, but paano po sa kaso ng congressman? Pag ang congressman po may kaso ng disqualification o cancellation, remember po, maaari maproklama kayo ng May 13, May 11 na eleksyon, May 13 na proklama. Sabi po ng Supreme Court, doon po sa kaso ng Reyes versus the COMELEC, 3 ang requisites para magkaroon ng congressman. First, proclamation. Second, oath sa kahit na kanino, kahit notaryo publiko, barangay chairman. Pangatlo, assumption to office. Ang assumption to office will happen by June 30 after the election. Question, paano po kung maglabas kami ng desisyon prior to June 30 involving a congressional position na yung tao ay disqualified? Sino pong pauupuin namin? Nung pong naglabas kami ng involving Manila, hindi pa po kasi lumalabas yung desisyon ng Supreme Court tungkol sa mangungadato. So, meron pa kaming leeway. Pero nung lumabas na po yung desisyon ng Supreme Court sa mangungadato, na wala ng second placer rule, ang tanong po, sino ang makakaupo ngayon sa isang congressional position na walang succession? Wala pong problema sa local. May succession. Paano po sa national position? That was really the basis ngayon ng manifestation namin sa Supreme Court through the Solicitor General. In the case of national candidates, sino ang uupo? Sabihin na po natin, wag ng congressman.